All right, guys, welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I'm here to talk to you about Chidi Njokuani versus Gregory Rodrigues, the co-main event of the evening, and it's a fucking awesome fight on paper. Proof of that is the odds, razor thin, minus 130 for Chidi, even odds for Gregory Rodrigues, and Rodrigues is the guy who has brought us a lot of excitement inside the octagon. I want to say he's the brawler of all brawlers, and he's got some of the hardest hitting power in the UFC, pound for pound. Or maybe he hits harder than Ngannou. Looks like it sometimes. But Chidi Njokuani, brother of Anthony Njokuani, former UFC fighter and WEC guy. Chidi's been around for a long time. He's actually 33. He's 3 years older than Gregory Rodrigues, which is a bit of a surprise if you look at Gregory Rodrigues, because he looks like Barack Obama's uncle. But Gregory Rodrigues has, he's known for his knockout power, and again, he does have the hardest power and blah, blah, blah. But his grappling is his strength. That's his primary strength. That's his primary discipline. And he would be wise to grapple here against Chidi Njokuani. I do think that's his greatest course to victory. Chidi Njokuani, outside of the UFC, I haven't liked what I've seen from him and his losses to Andrei Koreshkov and John Salter, even though those are very good guys. Excellent grappler. John Salter is really underrated fighter and just perfect on the ground. And, no, not perfect, but he's close. And Chidi Njokuani kind of melted on the ground there. He's also been knocked out before earlier in his career to Brandon Thatch, and it's weird saying his name out loud, Brandon Thatch. If you don't remember him, he was an awesome UFC fighter for like a minute and then wasn't so awesome, and that was that. I think he retired. But anyway, I do think Gregory Rodrigues has fallen in love with his hands. I think he'd be stupid if he didn't fall in love with his hands. If I was knocking people out like that, I'd be like, oh, we should get married and elope. But he, would be wise to lean on his grappling because he's been rocked a few times. And Chidi Njokuani is a much more precise striker. He's longer, taller, sharper, faster. And I see him touching Gregory Rodrigues' chin. And Gregory Rodrigues, even though he's been able to take it, it's only been in that Chris Lieben way, where he's kind of staggered. And that fight against Junyoung Park was like Chris Lieben versus Terry Martin, where he was staggered, about to be finished, kind of fell back against the cage, and then decided to go full Lieben and knock Junyoung Park out. If you haven't seen Terry Martin versus Chris Lieben, check it out. I just ruined it for you, but still, it's a great fight. Considering everything, I have myself siding with Chidi Njokuani, and I've convinced myself pretty strongly. That's why I've fallen in love with his minus 130, and we're going to get married and elope. But I think he's going to get a victory. I think it'll be early. I think Gregory Rodrigues is at a physical disadvantage on the feet, aside from his power, of course. But he's going to have to close the distance, and he's going to have to, one way or another, he's going to have to grab a hold of Chidi, either getting in close or, if he goes the grappling route, actually grabbing a hold of him and ripping him to the floor. Chidi's going to be dancing around, and that guy has looked so good in the UFC so far. I see him touching Rodrigues' chin. And Gregory Rodrigues, as tough as he's looked, it looks inevitable that he's going to crumble. And of course, he did crumble on the Contender Series to Jordan Wright, and that never left my memory. He just didn't look good there. He looked sloppy, and he's blossomed, again, I'm using that word blossom. He's blossomed into an awesome brawler, which to be a brawler, you have to have a chin. But I think this is going to be that loss he takes that maybe changes the course of his career and changes his style. I'm going Chidi Njokuani. I think he'll get it done early, which I have bet on. You can get his KO line at plus 500, but mainly I bet on the money line, minus 130, because, who knows how the first round is going to go. If Gregory Rodrigues does decide to grapple and he doesn't get a submission, whatever, this fight obviously could go longer. I also bet on Gregory Rodrigues to win via submission in round 1, plus 1,000. I think he'll be fresh. He'll be going forward. He might be going forward. But the that's really just, something, a hedge of sorts in the back of my mind. And I don't want that to happen, him to get a submission and me not to have bet on it because some matter of pride or something. But the prediction and bet, Chidi and Njokuani gets their first round knockout. And the primary bet is Chidi wins. So, oh, and also there's something on the under. Under 1.5 rounds, I like at plus money, plus 105. I did put that in a few parlays because that does cover, I think, both of their strongest paths to victory. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. Like, share, subscribe, all that wonderful horseshit, and check out my other videos.